Hey everybody, welcome to another Mathconnect tutorial. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to calculate the area and volume using the trapezoidal rule. The prior knowledge that you need for this lesson is knowing how to calculate the area of a trapezium. The area of a trapezium is given by the formula A equals h over 2, brackets a plus b. Now, the h is the perpendicular height of the trapezium, and the A and the B are the lengths of its parallel sides. The formula for the area using the trapezoidal rule is a slight variation on this. So let's say we have a shoreline that looks like this, and there's water on this side, and on this side we have sand. So what if we wanted to calculate the area of the sandy part? Now, because there is a curve involved, the calculation becomes an estimate. So the formula that we use to calculate the area of the sand using the trapezoidal rule is as follows. Area is equal to W over 2 bracket dF plus dL. The W is the width, which is similar to the perpendicular height of the trapezium. And the dF and the dL are the lengths of the parallel sides. Again, that is similar to the A and B that you see in the area of a trapezium. However, because there is this curve right here, our formula isn't going to be exact, and rather it'll actually be an estimation. Now, here's a little tip. If you're in New South Wales, you don't actually have to remember this formula because it will be given to you during the exam. All you need to know is how to apply the formula. So let's do that right now. So let's try to find the area of this part. Now we know that the formula for the area is W over 2 dF plus dL. So we know W is the width. So W is equal to 12. So that would be 12 over 2 bracket. dF is the distance of the first parallel line. In this case, it's 10. Plus dL is the distance of the second line, which is 8. Close the bracket. 12 over 2 is 6. 10 plus 8 is 18. So 6 times 18 is equal to 108 meters squared. And it doesn't really matter what the orientation of the shape is. For instance, it could be something like this. And we were asked to find the area of this part. And let's put in some numbers. This would be, say, 5 meters. And this is 6 meters. And say this is 7 meters. Again, we go back to the formula. Now, I always like to write the formula out first. So A is equal to W over 2 dF plus dL, close the bracket. We know W is 5, so it's 5 over 2, bracket. We know that DF is 6. Now you can pick DF to be 6 or 7, it doesn't really matter. But in this case, I'll just use 6. So DF is 6 plus DL is 7. So you have 5 over 2 multiplied by 13. And the answer is 32.5 meters squared. Let's do one more example. Let's say we have a shape that looks something like this. Again, we write down the formula first. A is equal to W over 2 dF plus dL. So on this diagram, we know that W is 10. So it'll be 10 over 2. dF is 5 plus dL. So see where dL is? That would be 0. So 10 over 2 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Now, if these were meters, then the answer would be 25 meters squared. Of course, in an exam situation, the examiners are not going to give you such a simple question. What they're going to do is ask you to find the area by using two applications of the trapezoidal rule. So what does that mean? So let's take a look at this drawing. Slightly different to the drawings that we've had previously. And the examiner says, well, I want you to find the area using two applications of the trapezoidal rule. Now what that means is that you need to use the trapezoidal rule to initially find the area of this part, and then the area of this part. So let's take a look at how that's done. If we look at the first section, which is here, and we write down the trapezoidal formula, A is equal to W over 2 dF plus dL. Now, when they say use two applications, it means we're going to do it twice. Yeah? So let's do the area of the first shape. We know W for that is 3 over 2. DF for the first shape is 10. DL for the first shape is 8. Now here comes the bit that you need to remember. Because you need to make two applications, you add another one. So that would mean you need to add this shape right here. Okay, so W for this shape is 3. So 3 over 2. DF, so which is the new DF for this shape, is now 8, plus DL for this shape is 7. So let's see what we get. It will be 3 over 2 multiplied by 10 plus 8, that's 18, plus 3 over 2 multiplied by 8 plus 7, that's 15. Plug all of this into your calculator. You get 49.5 meters squared. So let's do one more example. Let's take a look at this shape now. We want to find the area of this shape using two applications of the trapezoidal rule. Again, always write down the rule. Even if you remember it off by heart, I find that it's always useful to write it down just so it's right in front of you. So we know the area is equal to W over 2 df plus dl. Now remember, we have two applications, so we need to do this twice. So let's take a look at our first shape here. So the area is equal to W. So W in this case is 6 over 2. Our df is 12 plus our dl is 9. Now let's do the second application, plus our w is the same, 6 over 2. Our new df for this shape is now 9 plus our dl is 10. So 6 over 2, you know, is 3. 12 plus 9 is 21 plus 3. 9 plus 10 is 19. So we plug this into a calculator and we get 120 meters squared. So a situation might arise where they don't do the W for you. So say you don't have that and they just write 12 meters. You know that W, if it's two applications, W isn't going to be 12. So if they say two applications, you need to divide that by 2, and that'll give you 6. So that's something that you need to be aware of. Okay, so sometimes they'll give you the W and they've split it up for you. Other times they won't make the split and you'll have to do that yourself. So what happens when they say, I want you to find the area using the 3 applications of the trapezoidal rule? Well, let's take a look at that situation. So let's take a look at this new shape and we'll try to calculate the area using 3 applications of the trapezoidal rule. So let's write down the formula. Area is equal to W over 2 df plus dl. Now remember, this is 3 applications, which means we need 3 of these. So let's do the first one. A equals, we know W is 2 for all of them, so it'll be 2 over 2. df for the first one is 5 plus dl for the first one is 7 plus, let's do the second application. Again, W is 2, so 2 over 2. df for this now would be 7 plus dl is 6. That's your second application. Let's do the third application. W is 2 over 2, bracket. df would now be 6 plus dl is 5. Close the bracket. And there we have 3 applications. Let's simplify this. We know 2 over 2 is 1. So that's 1. 5 plus 7 is 12. Again, 2 over 2 is 1. 7 plus 6 is 13. Plus, last one, 6 plus 5 is 11. So we put all that into calculator. So we have 12 plus 13, which is 25, plus 11, which is 36 meters squared. So now let's look at how we find volume using the trapezoidal rule. And for brevity, I'm just going to use the 2 applications instead of 3. So let's say you have this swimming pool with this really funny, ridiculous shape, and you wanted to estimate how much water or the volume of water that this swimming pool will hold. Well, we know that in order to find the volume, we need to get the area and we multiply that by how deep the swimming pool is. So the first calculation that we need to do is to find the area. And we find the area using the trapezoidal rule. In this case, we'll use two applications. So the area is equal to, we'll write down the formula again, W over 2 dF plus dL. So the area is equal to, let's do the first shape. W is 1.5 over 2. dF is 2 plus dL is 2.5. Now let's add the second application, plus W, which is 1.5 over 2. dF now is 2.5 plus dL is 3. We plug that into a calculator and the answer should be 7.5 meters squared. So let's say this swimming pool is 2 meters deep. So the height of the swimming pool is 2 meters deep. So the volume is the area which we found multiplied by the height. So the volume is equal to the area, which is 7.5, multiplied by the height, which is 2, giving us a total volume of 15 meters cubed. So this concludes our lesson. As always, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please support the channel by subscribing and spreading the word.